Hey guys, this is Tough Horse Reacts, and I'm back to react to Death Battle Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Okay, yeah, I've been really waiting for this one, which is weird considering I was never a big fan of the matchup back around when it was popular, and only in recent years did it get popular enough again to the point where I was like, okay, I can be happy to see that. But like around like maybe I don't know, 10 years ago. I don't want to say it was 10 years ago. It was more likely closer to 5 years ago. But the matchup started to become real popular. But at the time, I believe like everyone was saying Spawn just stomps Ghost Rider. So it's very. But then I was like, okay, so that's kind of the mindset I had before, and I think that's the reason why I didn't really like the matchup because everyone was saying Spawn stomps it. And Ghost Rider is one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, and just one of my favorite superheroes in general of all time. So I didn't really like a matchup where one of my favorites was just going to get stomped into the ground. But then I like looked it up recently, like when the episode was announced, I was like, okay, I might as well see who goes up to it, and I came across two answers, and one of them was it's a very heavily debated fight, and Ghost Rider more or less wins like 51% of the time. And two, it's a complete stomp, in Ghost Rider's favor. So yeah, you can see like where my mind is kind of at right now. So yeah, I am going to be rooting for Ghost Rider, and I'm placing my money on him. He's the bet. Hopefully he doesn't let me down. But like I said, this is a very contentious fight at the very least. Because from what I can gather, when it comes to stats, Ghost Rider is easily stronger. He's got like he's a Marvel Herald. There's no like you can't really fight that unless you're a DC Herald. And while Spawn is very powerful in his own right, it's more along the lines he gets to like universal plus levels of power to put it in, power scaling terms, I guess. And meanwhile, Spawn gets like multiversal, so there's a vast difference in strength there. In terms of speed, I think they should be roughly similar. Base Ghost Rider, at the very least, outraces Mjolnir, and Mjolnir speeds can vary, but it gets from like crossing the universe in a matter of seconds to incalculable speeds. And then Spawn has flown so fast that he breaks the concept of time. So just base Ghost Rider could possibly get to those incalculable speeds similar to Spawn, but the moment Zarathos pops out, that's when, yeah, easily catches up to Spawn in that regard. Um, and from what I can gather, Zarathos is the big thing here. That's the thing I saw like in the whole Ghost Rider Stomps department. It's that it's fairly even in like base forms when both enter base forms. The moment Zarathos pops out, it's over. That's what I've gathered. And in terms of abilities, really it seems like everything one can do, the other can also do. And to varying degrees of if it's better or not. Um, so I think like in terms of just overall abilities, I think I put them at a tie. Um Ghost Rider easily takes stats in terms of hacks and abilities. It's kind of a tie. In terms of experience, Spawn definitely has the edge in that one because in his previous life he was literally a trained assassin. So yeah, he definitely has more combat experience, at least, if only a little bit more than Ghost Rider does. Because if it came down to just Johnny Blaze versus Al Simmons would probably win a majority of the time because Blaze may be like superhuman in his own right. That's only because of like his connection to Ghost Rider. Um, and then there's Al Simmons who was literally trained to be a killer, and Blaze has like what? Like, he has Daredevil skills. Not even literally Daredevil the superhero. I mean just being a motorcycle rider. That's not going to earn him any favors. So it really is going to come down to but it really is going to come down to what Death Battle buys. And it makes a very interesting matchup. Does not do good things for my heart because when I place everything on a certain character, I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna start, getting anxious, and that's how I feel right now. I never thought I'd be getting this anxious about a fight I was never really all that excited for before. But like I said, Ghost Rider's one of my favorite characters, and Spawn is also really cool. So while I am placing everything on Ghost Rider, at the moment at least, it could change if the analysis reveals something. Um Spawn is still very cool. And, like, if he wins, I'm not really going to be surprised. Like I said, some of the other ends of the debate are it's very contentious. We just think Spawn only wins like 49% of the time. It's that kind of close. In terms of the G1 blog, I do see their whole argument, because they came up with the whole they came up with the G1 blog like really late last night. I was up waiting for that. And they said Spawn wins, but it was like a 9-6 majority. And when it comes to the G1 blog, usually if it's a close fight but it's a decisive victory, all the votes are going to go, most of the votes are going to go in one area, with only like maybe like 2 or 3 votes for the other guy. But in terms of this one, it was 9-6 in favor of Spawn, but there are also 2 undecided voters. That's kind of a big deal here. So I do think it could go either way. I think the thing that's also getting me towards Ghost Rider's direction is the fact that Spawn's whole deal, like most of what he can do, that would be effective against the Ghost Rider, relies on a very large but also limited pool of necroplasm, and it's really all going, and I think that's what's going to all come down to, simply because Ghost Rider's not going to run out of stamina. It's really going to be who tires out first, and I think Spawn is the most likely person who's going to tire out first. So anyway, I've been prattling on way too long. Wow. Okay, I think this is the most I've talked, like, before a death battle reaction. I could be wrong, but or almost at 7 minutes. Let's just jump right in, and we will start things up in 3, 2, 1, play. Fight. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this.
Spawn, the spirit of vengeance versus the dark angel.
Man, I went through all that without even talking about Ghost Rider's first death battle or Spawn's first death battle. I am also banking on the fact that Kratos came back to win his battle when he first lost his against Spawn back in Season 1. And I kind of want Spawn to lose this one simply because he won his death battle back in Season 1 against Kratos, and now they're back to back. But yeah, and oh yeah, Ghost Rider versus Lobo is also a very underrated battle. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I love Ghost Rider versus Lobo. Sorry. So this episode's got quite a lot to live up to.
Only for Crash to actually live up
yeah,
to
there
his
we
name
go.
right after.
But instead
I've
of
seen the preview. It's fine.
Mephisto had
But
something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the spirit of vengeance.
So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into Hellfire.
Oh, yeah.
An undead skeleton biker with a sick
Also,
ass
Johnny
mod.
Blaze is such a
The
sick name.
mysterious Nick Cage performance. The
Yeah, there we go.
Stuntman
And plus,
from hell.
Nicolas Cage.
He called
Perfection.
himself the Daredevil.
Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
Yeah, there we
Sure,
go.
We
Okay.
definitely didn't forget that we named a character the same
yeah,
thing
there
only
we go.
5 years earlier. All you.
The Ghost Rider was bad news for Earth sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him,
Oh, yeah.
making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's not just his body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an infinite stream of chains, a shotgun packed with fiery rounds, or a flaming missile.
Yeah,
barbed
there
right
we
out
go.
of his mouth.
Like, yeah, that look at that.
Life
That's just
And he
sick.
can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as
I'm
his
hoping we
Hell
get like
Cycle.
him imbuing something else with Hellfire like he did in the second movie. That would just be awesome.
Which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his...
Yeah, yeah.
His boner, Wiz. Get it?
Yeah, there, yeah.
And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Johnny's
yeah,
not
because
the only
yeah,
Ghost
there have
Rider,
been
and
many
Danny
Ghost
was
Riders,
the
and
master
all
their
of them
most
look
famous
awesome.
move. You
Because
know,
when
the
your
one that
baseline
burns your
is
soul to
this,
smithereens with just a
the
look,
sky's the
pen
limit.
and stare.
The pen and stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment.
Obliterating your soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a
Spirit
staring
combat.
contest,
Yeah, there we go.
and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows
Yeah,
to the soul.
okay, yeah,
so
there
the
we go.
Ghost Rider must be able to match his
Yeah,
victim's
that
gaze
is
for
another
the
thing.
pen and
It
stare
did
to work.
depower it,
Some
and
people have survived
again, but
it, like
yeah,
the Punisher
but
supposedly
Ghost Rider
becoming
has
Dick
supposedly
Greta's
grown
action.
past that,
But
so
it did work on him
we'll
on
see.
other occasions.
Like,
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info,
yeah,
or
the
just show
the
you
stare is
terror
very
of your rage.
complex.
Remember, the Ghost Rider
And
is
Spawn
two
can do something
souls
similar,
in
so
one
who knows
body,
what that's
with
gonna
the
do.
kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Classic
Yeah,
Dusty
Johnny
bargain.
is the-
All
is the
power in
limiter,
world,
not-
But if you
yeah.
want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over.
Oh, yeah.
And then everything is
So
screwed.
supposedly, like,
Zarathos'
if
strength
they
is boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, pen and stare an entire city.
Yeah, there
and
we go.
fly all the way to
But like, if
Asgard, which
if
is a literal
Zarathos and Johnny
infinite
decide to work
distance
together,
away.
He's
they are
manhandled
even
some
more
of Marvel's
powerful. So at
heaviest
least that's what I
hitters,
think.
like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms,
Mm-hmm.
mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence and even bring down heaven itself.
Hmm. Wow.
Right
Okay.
before an army of Ghost Riders did just
Yeah,
that.
they brought down
an
hell and
army.
took-
The
and took
spirits
out
of
Mephisto.
vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power.
They're
to act as
saying
his
Noah
divine
was a
wrath
Ghost
on
Rider.
Earth.
That
A
is
sort of
freak.
heavenly
Okay,
Black Ops.
all right.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither?
it's
Despite
very
being one of
weird.
the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm.
There we go.
Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
There we
But
go.
Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch
Mm-hmm.
with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest.
Oh yeah,
huh?
okay,
Comic
very
book
funny.
fan
One more
punching
day.
bag
Got
though
it.
he may
I
be,
get it.
Mephisto is unbelievably
Oh
powerful.
yeah.
A battle with
Yeah.
him could cause omniversal
Omniversal
fitting
Armageddon.
as his
Like, look
wife
at this.
Galactus
Like,
rents the cosmos
Yeah,
as
like
sun.
Spawn's really
And
cool, but I
Galactus
just
is
don't
going
think
to
he's got
destroy
this
all
kind of level of
Marvel's
power
infinite
to like
multiverse.
match
That's the kind
Galactus.
of awesome
So
power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted.
Yeah, there we
thing
go.
and just sends you straight to hell.
Just said, yeah,
No
there we
shot.
go.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding
Yeah,
on
there we go.
it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost
All
Rider
right.
continues his war against demons without and with
Yeah, because
mentoring
we
his
can't
fellow
have
Ghost Riders in the ways
we
of
can't have
vengeance,
permanent
always
consequences in
prowling the
comics.
highways for the
We
evil
got to keep
and
the status
buffet.
quo.
An unstoppable
Even if it
engine
makes
of
even if the
judgment
story
that,
suffers
with
for it.
just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
As they sure as hell won't find any in his.
Well, okay, I think that
This battle is sponsored by
The way
Robin
they
Hood
ended
Gold.
that analysis,
Robin
just
Hood
like,
Gold,
oh,
you can now
maybe
enjoy
if
the
he
VIP
maybe if
treatment,
he dies
receiving a
here, like
3%
you know, something like
IRA
he
match
will
on
he will
retirement
find
contributions.
peace, you know, that
The
kind of thing.
privileges
I wonder
of
if
the
they'll do the
very
same with
privileged
Spawn
are
though.
no
Like,
longer
I think that's going to
exclusive.
determine
With Robin
my
Hood
like whole
Gold,
like,
your annual
oh man,
IRA
is Spawn gonna
contributions are
win
boosted
or
by
not? Because
3%.
Plus, you also
yeah,
get
they
4%
do like
APY with cash and non-retirement
whisper in
accounts.
your
That's
hey,
over
you
8
want to lean
times
in
the
this
national savings
direction. You know, they
average.
do
The
that
perks of high
sometimes,
net
but
worth
they
are
don't
now
do that all the
available for
time. But
any network.
The new Gold
okay, yeah,
Standard
from what I
is
can
here
tell, they
with
definitely
Robin Hood
put.
Gold. To receive your
Okay, they
3%
didn't
boost
put
on
too much
annual
emphasis
IRA
on Ghost Rider's
contributions.
weaknesses
Sign up
here,
at
but they did like
robinhood.com/gold.
Investing involves risk.
But
Rate subject
okay,
to change. 3%
but yeah,
match
I
requires
guess
Robinhood
we'll
Gold at
see.
$5
Like
a
they
month for
didn't
1 year
even
for
mention a
first
whole
match
lot of
unless
like
you funds
feats.
an
Like
IRA for 5
they did
years.
compare him to a few other people, but they didn't put
Robinhood.com/boost.
any
Over
numbers
8
on
times national
screen.
average
The only
savings
number they
account
kind
interest
of
rate
mentioned
claims
was the
based on data
Mjolnir
from the
feat,
FDIC
and
as of November
even
18th,
then, like
2024.
it was
Financial
the
LLC,
calculated
SIPC.
feat, and it wasn't
Gold
even
membership
talking
is
about
offered
like
by
you know
Robinhood Gold,
the
LLC.
incalculable feats. So, all right, we'll see
If
how
Hal
we'll see how this
Simmons was
goes.
One thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army and the
Yeah, I
CIA's
definitely
most
know
decorated
less
assassin.
about Spawn than I do
Simmons
Ghost
upheld
Rider, but
democracy around
I
the
do
globe
know
as the
some
barrel of a
bits.
gun, painting
So-
the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
Hmm.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul
Yeah,
was
because
on
he
a
killed quite a
one-way
few
trip to
innocent
hell.
people. He
Where
went to
he
hell.
cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
buddy, you're just asking to get monkeys.
Right,
blood.
yeah,
Al
you can
Simmons
feel the
returned from
monkey's
the
paw
dead
curling.
as a decaying zombie 5 years later.
Yeah,
After his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
yeah.
You
Ooh.
saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself, Spawn.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest
Oh, yeah.
thing ever. Look
Yeah, because
upon
look
his
at
end,
that.
wizard,
It's cool.
and
Like, I still think
despair.
Ghost Rider looks
Spawn would
cooler, but it's still
violently defend
this
New York's
is cool.
downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full
Longest running
breadth of his
independent
demonic
comic book
powers.
character. Wow,
Like
okay,
a
that's
walking
interesting.
superpower encyclopedia. He can
I
fly,
did not
teleport,
actually know
turn
that.
Invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking
Hmm.
of time, he can fly so fast he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
Yeah, there we
Manipulate
go.
matter, shape-shifting his own body or
See, they
transmuting other
went
objects.
into like
He
this
can even
incalculable
control and absorb
speed
your
feat
soul.
and only
Wait,
went into a
Wiz, if he
calculated
can
speed
rearrange
feat in Ghost Rider
molecules and crap,
section.
why doesn't
So,
he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malvosia cursed him so that he could only make himself.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that that gets you a throne in hell.
To be fair,
Get wrecked,
Spawn
nerd.
can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He
Hmm.
can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Hmm.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong.
Hmm.
Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
Hmm.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn
Yeah,
feels
there we
all
go.
of
You're-
humanity's pain all at once.
He's even
Hmm.
absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers instantly, cleansing them of their evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he
Hmm.
can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins.
Yeah, there we go.
Feeling every bit of pain.
Yeah, it
you
makes
ever
me wonder if
inflicted
the
on
penance
others
there
over
would
your
even work
whole
on him, because he's
life.
already
Like
experiencing the
some
sin
sort
and
of
pain of everyone on
madness.
Earth,
Though
so
Spawn's
it's a
necroplasm
very
comes
weird
with a
thing.
catch.
Yeah, he's got a
But,
limited amount of this
again,
stuff,
there
and
is
it
a very
drains every
limited
time he
amount.
uses his powers.
Like, there's a
If
lot
he
of it,
runs
but it's a
out,
very
he's
limited
dragged
amount of
back to hell.
necroplasm.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
Hmm.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Yeah, there
His
we go.
greatest weapon
It was
is
the
the
90s.
sentient being
We
he's
had
genetically
to
and
get really
spiritually
edgy,
bonded to,
and thankfully
his
Spawn
cloak.
remained the cool
Wicca,
kind of
the
edgy.
7th house of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's
Okay.
literally made of original sin. Oh, and also
All right.
the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims.
Yeah, there
Also a
we
touch
go.
of vampire for good measure.
K7 Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helped Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the soul
okay.
to Spawn acted
So
as
yeah,
a
Zarathos
buffer,
not gonna be able to
allowing
eat
him
his
to
soul
survive.
very well.
You'd think
Okay.
with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past.
Yeah, there we go.
Spawn's greatest weakness is his own, how do I put this? Stupidity.
So
Oh,
Spawn
okay.
fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for
All
an
right.
angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him,
Okay.
he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on
Yeah, okay,
himself.
there we go.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed until
Un-
he reconfigured reality to undo his
until
own existence.
there we
There
go.
we
Yeah.
are, good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's
Weird.
greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown,
Hmm.
and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn.
Oh,
He's even encountered
okay.
other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malvosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill
Right, yeah.
all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life.
Wow.
And all his
Okay.
death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn
There we go.
marched
You
into
made
hell
him
and cut
self-aware,
Malvosia's
and now he's
fucking
gonna
head
kill
off.
you.
With a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality, Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of Hell itself.
Well,
gaining access
okay.
to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with.
Oh,
Mother
okay.
of existence, Gaia.
All
She
right.
wasn't cool with her kids
Literally
being
went to a
total
god
assholes,
of the
so she
gods,
appointed
so
Spawn
okay.
to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the Tree of Life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
Ah,
Each of them
okay.
were powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
All right, yeah.
Broke the stalemate
There we go,
by
infinite-sized
letting God and
universes,
Satan
but, like,
destroy him, only for Gaia
Multiversal
to
power
separate the
again.
two from the
Like, but
reality they
okay.
threaten.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Good as new.
Finally
There we go.
freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz.
Yeah,
He
there
won't
we
be
go.
happy unless he can instantly brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
if you threaten the
That-
alley
that is
he
the very
calls
90s thing
home,
to do.
Beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
All right, yeah. Like, okay, again, I think
battle is
they
sponsored
might
by
give Spawn the
DraftKings
speed
Casino.
edge, but in
If
terms
the
of
slots are
power, I
spinning,
think they're
you
definitely
could be
giving it to
winning.
Ghost
Head over
Rider.
to DraftKings
And
Casino and play the
seeing the
classics
whole,
you
like, you
know
know,
and love. Or
he
try
could
something
run
new
out of
with
necroplasm
DraftKings
at the end of the day.
exclusive
Then again, like,
Plus, new players
Hell,
that get
Hell
DraftKings
King's
Casino
Spawn or
spin
whatever
can
it's
get
called.
200 casino spins
Like
on
I said, this is
featured
really
games.
up in
Sign
the
up
air.
with code BATTLE and wager a
I'm
minimum
still
of
putting everything with
$5
Ghost
to
Rider.
receive
I'm putting
200
faith in my
casino
boy.
spins on a
Plus, I
featured
really
game.
want the hilarity of Kratos coming back to win and his opponent and his killer Spawn coming back to lose. That's just funny to me. So okay, but yeah, it is mostly just I love Ghost Rider, and I truly think that he's the safer bet here, even if it isn't that safe of a bet. So, all right, let's. Okay, and I've just been talking. I'm trying to get through the ad, so let's just come on, Wiz, let's get on with it. All right.
Ends March 16th.
Yes, come on.
At 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, all right, there we go. Okay,
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
it's time for a
one
death
hell
of a.
death
Oh, okay.
battle.
Oh, all right, cool. All right. All right, let's do
Like
this.
these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, There'll be hell to pay.
Ooh, the voice actor's already really good.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's counting down. I think okay, it's counting down the necroplasm. Okay, interesting. Chains. This is my thing, you asshat.
It's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
Interesting voice actor. They got for Ghost Rider.
Sloppy. You fight like a bum.
Right, yeah. Spawn doesn't have an experience advantage. Oh wow, okay. Oh no, it was counting down something else. He just goes back to hell, and so yeah, he's coming back now. There we go. Oh, okay. Oh, he's dragging Ghost Rider to hell with him. Okay. All right, this is already very interesting. Oh, and he transformed the truck. Okay. All right, that's cool. Stop time. All right.
Be damned.
All right, Zarathos. Oh, okay, he did the scorpion thing. That's cool. All right, get over here. I suppose we'll see, because Spawn hasn't transformed yet or anything like that. So. Oh, they are including Divine Spawn. Okay.
God forbid.
All right. Ooh. Zarathos is getting one hell of a fight. Oh. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. He's squeezing him. Oh, man. Oh, and it was Una reverse card. Oh, no.
Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, man. Once they started calling back to Lobo, I think, oh, man, we're nearing the end, aren't we?
Wait, I'm an innocent.
Oh, man. Come on, Johnny. Oh, no, he's losing, isn't he?
It's like you said, nothing personal, asshole.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, like I said, yeah, Spawn wins. I got it wrong. Dang it.
This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility.
Okay.
Let's break this down into 4 categories.
All right.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts,
Okay.
with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
All right.
Zarathos was different.
Yeah, there we
Remember,
go.
his power can match
Once
that of
Zarathos
Mephisto
came
and
out,
Galactus,
power went out the
who
window.
control all
Zarathos
of
is
Marvel's
winning.
Infinite
So,
cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine
Okay.
form, he couldn't match Zarathos
Right,
in power
yeah.
alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence. So Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
Fair
Spawn
enough, I
definitely
guess.
had the edge in skill.
Yeah,
He
there we
spent
go.
decades
Like I
in
said, skill
military
went to
combat
Spawn.
and is a
So-
master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The
Yeah.
ultimate dream power for a
All right.
stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider
And
was
now
a
for
lot more
versatility,
direct than
okay.
Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter.
Yeah,
turn
there we
intangible,
go,
control
yeah.
minds, warp reality, the Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison.
Yeah,
Spawn
limited
had
arsenal.
a huge advantage in this category.
Okay, but now
With his
resistances.
invincibility,
Okay.
way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances.
Okay.
Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including
Okay,
the
fair
Penance
enough.
Stare, just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
All
Best
right.
of all,
Yeah, there we
remember
go.
the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was
Okay.
nothing the Ghost Rider
Yeah.
could do to overpower
Yeah,
him.
like-
And
yeah,
that time
okay.
with the lance wasn't
I can-
planned,
I can
it was
accept
purely
this, like I
instinctual.
said.
He could replicate it
Like I said,
anytime he wanted.
I
like in
just
his
thought
fight
that
with
Ghost
John
Rider
Cena.
was the safer
So how
bet,
do
but
you
like,
put
if
Spawn
Spawn
down
won,
from the-
I would not be
Well, you
surprised.
can't. At least Johnny and Zerathos could.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before.
Okay.
Like when Danny used the Penance Stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zerathos are bonded in the first place is because Zerathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not
Okay.
only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the Penance Stare itself.
Just think about that. A penance stare on Zerathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done.
Ah,
A penance
okay.
Squared.
Okay.
Damnation Stare, on the other
Okay,
hand,
that's
actively
actually
empowers
pretty
Spawn,
cool, not gonna
sending
lie.
him to hell
All
where he
right.
gets a literal infinite power boost.
And
Yeah,
it
there we
wasn't
go.
just Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving
Okay.
Spawn the final
All
edge.
right, fair enough.
Zerathos was almost unbeatable, a massive power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him. And was
There we
too
go.
unkillable
Again,
for
it was like
Zerathos' strength
everything you can
advantage
do,
to
I can
matter in
also
the long
do.
run
And
against
in
his
terms
crazier
of this battle,
That was
they
one
believe
hell of a
Spawn
fight,
could
and at
just
least
do it
John
better,
went out
and
in a blaze of
understandably
glory.
so.
The
So,
winner is Spawn.
all right, yeah,
Next time
I'll take the
on
L.
Death
All right, let's see what's next though. And we're doing it. We're doing it. All right. Okay. Shigaraki versus Mahito. All right.
Subscribe and join
Oh,
as a
that's-
member
oh,
to
this
see
could be
more
fun.
Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
All right. Okay. Shigaraki versus Mahito. I'll get into it in a minute. But okay. So in terms of Ghost Rider versus Spawn, yeah, really cool battle. I would have loved it if Ghost Rider. I would have loved it more if Ghost Rider had won, but still, it was still pretty good. And congrats to all of you Spawn fans out there. I guess I was just, yeah, I was really banking on the whole, oh, Kratos came back to win and Spawn comes back to lose. I was banking on that whole deal because they actually did it like in season 10 with like, you know, Darth Vader coming back to lose again, Raven coming back to win this time. No, to win again, sorry, and then Guts coming back to lose this time. You know, they did that like 3 episodes in a row, so I was kind of banking on that. But whatever, okay. Yeah, like I said, their logic at least makes sense to me. But yeah, in terms of Shigaraki versus Mahito, okay, this is one I've at least somewhat researched Mahito, but I've definitely done a lot more research into Shigaraki because I've had to like scale like, you know, Deku before, and you know, scaling Deku to Shigaraki is only the most logical thing to do. And in terms, it's one of those like stats versus hacks ones again, kind of similar to Obito versus Vader, but in terms of like stats, like Shigaraki just, yeah, there's no comparison when we get to stats. The most you can do is scale Mahito to like, in terms of power, you could definitely scale him to like Jogo's, you know, city destroying meteor feat. You can also like if you want to be incredibly generous, you could probably you can maybe scale him to the black hole feat that Kenjaku survived. At least I think that's Kenjaku, whatever, in the body of Gato or whatever. But even then, that feat is incredibly dubious in and of itself, and it says it's a world-destroying feat, but like again, it's like I said, that's being like the most generous you can possibly be to Mahito. So you really even shouldn't give him scaling to that feat anyway. And once again, if you want to be incredibly generous in terms of speed, Mahito like maybe scales to a light speed feat with Sukuna, like, you know, dodging a radio wave or something like that. But again, that's scaling him to like almost full power Sukuna. That's not something you should do. And there's also maybe a bit of a better feat to go on, which is Hikari dodging Kashimo's lightning. And even then, that's an incredibly dubious feat that we're probably not going to get full context for until it's animated, because we don't know if Kashimo's aiming to kill, like, straight for the head, or if he was really going for the arm. We don't know where he was aiming. So, yeah, again, so the best you could do is, like, a few times the speed of sound for Mahito is, like, the best you can do for him without getting into, like, dubious statements. In comparison, Shigaraki gets multi-continental through scaling to Deku. And he also and in terms of speed, he's the entire reason we have light speed feats in My Hero Academia, other than, like, the dubious scaling with Aoyama and stuff like that. But yeah, literally catching some light beams from Star and Stripe. So, yeah, so yeah, in terms of stats, Shigaraki completely stomps Mahito. The problem is Mahito can literally come back as long as, you know, he can manipulate his soul, because that's how it works. And plus, you know, cursed spirits are inherently invisible to normal humans. But I believe Shigaraki has, like, a certain quirk that, I think it's Ragdoll's quirk, who can, like, you know, detect beings. So I think Shigaraki should be able to see Mahito just fine, if anything through a very dubious means, but he can do it. But this is like a Makima situation, ironic considering Gojo vs. Makima, but where we've never seen how far Mahito's regeneration can really take him, because every time he's done it, there's always been a small part of him left to regenerate, and since he can manipulate the shape of his soul, he can just manipulate himself back into his original form, like, no problem at all. So really only, like, direct attacks to the soul, like Yuji's punches, could really do anything. So, but this also brings up the question, if Shigaraki manages to use Decay on Mahito and completely crumble him, what would that do? I just don't know. I can't give you that answer. And meanwhile, Mahito can literally manipulate, you know, literally with a touch can manipulate a normal person's soul and just turn them into whatever he wants. There are some exceptions to this, though, specifically Itadori. He's the only exception, because Sukuna was in Itadori at that point in time. In terms of Shigaraki, though, he's got All For One in there, and those two have a very you know what? Okay, yeah, All For One's in there. Like, he could potentially fend off Mahito should the opportunity arise. I think that's how it's going to work. But yeah, in terms of just complete stats, but going by, you know, their logic in Ghost Rider versus Spawn, I don't think having a superior stats advantage is going to might help Mahito, at least by Death Battle's own logic, but we'll see. Like, I'm putting all my money on Shigaraki here, not only because I just like him better, he's probably one of the best villains Shonen battle manga has to offer, but yeah, and Mahito was just born to be hated. Like, that's the kind of character Mahito is. But okay. Yeah, all right. I can accept this outcome of Ghost Rider vs. Spawn, and I cannot wait until Shigaraki versus Mahito. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say, so I'm just going to end the video here. So yeah, till next time, guys. See ya.